Hi families, Miss Kennedy here. Today we're going to read the story The World is Not a Rectangle, a portrait of architect Zaha Hadid by Jeanette Winter. I love this story because it's based on a true story about the architect Zaha Hadid, and her story is so inspiring for anyone who's interested in art and design. So let's get started. When we open a hardcover book, which is what this is, I know it's digital, but I took pictures of a hardcover book, and on the inside front flap, we usually find a little bit more information about the story. So here it tells us, a young girl in Iraq saw the wild beauty of the rivers and marshes and dunes and ancient ruins in her country, and dreamed of designing wild and beautiful cities of her own. I think I'm inspired by this story partially because Zaha loves nature so much, and that's where she got her inspiration, like we just read. Her name was Zaha Hadid. When she grew up, she became one of the most irreverent, controversial, and celebrated architects in the world. This is her story. Lots of big words there, but basically that just means that she was really well known and respected. She was fierce and didn't take no for an answer when she believed in something. And she was an architect. Do you know what an architect is? Well, as we read, I think you'll be able to figure it out. We'll come back to that question a bit later. The world is not a rectangle. A portrait of architect Zaha Hadid. And here she is holding the world in her hands. It's a lot of responsibility there. In Iraq, rivers flow through green marshes. Wind swoops across sand dunes and through ancient cities. I love how the artist used wavy lines to help show the wind moving through sand dunes and ancient cities. Zaha Hadid sees the rivers and marshes and dunes and ruins with her father. There they are, little Zaha and her dad going to the ruins. And imagines what cities looked like thousands of years ago. She does have a wild imagination, but I like to think about that too. I've gotten to see some ruins in Mexico, and I did the same thing. I was thinking, like, my gosh, what did life look like thousands of years ago? In Baghdad, where Zaha lives with her family, she dreams of designing her own cities. Zaha looks long and hard at patterns in her Persian carpet and sees how the shapes and colors flow into each other, like the dunes and rivers and marshes. Do you see how the shapes and the colors flow into one another? I love how she finds inspiration in everything around her, and she can see the connection between nature and human-made design, like a Persian rug. Zaha has ideas. She designs clothes for herself. She arranges her furniture. She loves her mirror because the corners aren't square. There are no corners in the dunes or rivers or marshes. So while I was thinking about that, or reading this, I was thinking about how when I was little, I didn't design clothes so much for myself, but I designed them for my toy animals. I would cut up Barbie dresses so they would fit manatees. Saha is a Muslim who attends a Catholic school and loves math. Now that's interesting because a Catholic school, right, that's a religion, Catholic, and Muslim is too. So she practices one religion and goes to another school or to a school where people practice another religion. That means she must be really tolerant of other people's beliefs. And I can tell she loves math and is staying super focused on her math here. And she still thinks about the ancient ruins. Right there in her thoughts. She leaves home to learn more about cities and how to build them. She has ideas. And there she is. I love how the artist shows her in color and all of the other people in shadows so that the main character, Zaha, stands out. And so does our little friend here, over in the marshes. In London, Zaha studies to be an architect. So what do you think an architect is, based on what we've read so far? An architect is someone who designs cities and buildings. So let's find out what she decides to build as she studies. Oh, there she is studying, huh? She fills notebooks with plans and designs. Just like I ask students to do at Chavez, right? We write down all of our ideas and pictures and words so that we can put them together and don't lose them. She makes paintings of the cities she sees in her mind. Wow, that's an abstract painting. I've never seen a city like that before. Zaha graduates with honors, rents a room in an old school building, and opens her own office, Studio 9. Oh, there she is. Again, the artist uses light to show us where the main character is. All the other windows are dark. A few friends join her. They all work hard, night and day, making drawings and plans. We never slept. Well, I hope they slept some. Zaha's designs don't look like other designs. Her buildings swoosh and zoom and flow and fly. Swoosh, zoom. Oh, here's some more. The world is not a rectangle. Look at her designs. Do you notice any rectangles? The only rectangles I see are the tabletop and the chair seat. Well, and the back of the chair too. So things that have already been designed. And there are her pictures, swooshing, zooming, flowing, and flying. Just like her designs. No one wants to build her unusual designs. They say they can't be built. But Saha knows that they can. So she enters competition after competition, hoping to win, hoping someone will be brave enough to build them. Finally, one of Zaha's designs is chosen. The architect judges think her plan is the best. Oh, I want to see it up close. I can see it in the background. I wonder what it is. But the city committee doesn't like it and won't build it. They hold another competition. Her design wins again, and still they refuse. Oh, I guess that's the city committee. She's an Arab. This can't be built. Impossible. She's a woman. Wow, these guys sound really judgmental. Also, I noticed they all look very much the same. I feel like for a city committee, you should have different people, right? People with different ideas, different styles, different backgrounds. That seems really unfair. Hadid means iron in Arabic, and Zaha is strong as iron. She keeps on working, one plan after another. I made a conscious decision not to stop. Well, yeah, she looks fierce in this picture. And she reminds me of someone we study a lot at Chavez. Hint, hint, in the name of our school. That si se puede attitude. It can be done. Zaha remembers the grasses in the marshes swaying and sees tall buildings dancing like grass. So you can see the tall grass swaying. And look at her picture, right? You might think she could draw really, really well, but notice she's just sketching, getting the gesture of the grass moving. Wow, look at these buildings. You can see like the grass swaying. Have you ever seen buildings like this before? I have, in one place, and I think you'll find out where later. Yeah, look, you can see how the grass inspires the shape of the buildings. So cool. Saha remembers the wind in the dunes and feels it blowing over and around and through her desert building. Wow. So let's look at the whole picture. Yeah, you can see the wind blowing with those dotted lines, swooping. And look at this. It's kind of like a spaceship, right? Like that curved structure. It does look pretty weird, right? Like we don't see a lot of things like this, but that's amazing how it takes the shape of the desert. And where Zaha's from, the desert is a little different than Phoenix. There's a lot more sand, but it's still desert, and she designed for the environment. Oh, what do you think her inspiration is for this next one? You see this shell here? How would you describe the shape of this shell? Kind of curved. It looks like something could go inside. Lots of rings, kind of like rings of a tree on the inside. Zaha looks at shells and cradles her stadium like a cocoon. Oh yeah, she likes how the shell can cradle something like a cocoon. What a cool stadium. I've never seen people play football in a cocoon before. That's pretty cool. They're playing football. It looks like football or soccer. I think it's soccer. In a cocoon. Zaha looks at stones in a stream. Oh, what do you think she's going to design with these? And builds an opera house like the pebbles in the water. Wow, an opera house where people sing and perform. That's beautiful, right? How they're kind of low, it looks like, and they've got different shapes like rocks do. Very organic, natural looking shapes. Wow. Inside the opera house, a singer is the pearl in the oyster shell. Oh, look at that. There's the little pearl, right? The singer. Oh, and do you see Zaha? Kind of like Where's Waldo? Yep, there's her head. There she is in the crowd. How amazing would that be to design something as spectacular as this and then to see it in real life, to see it being used and appreciated by hundreds and thousands of people? Zaha looks up at stars and galaxies and sees swirling buildings. Oh, I know a lot of people who are inspired by galaxies. I'm curious to see these swirling buildings that she designed. Wow, look at that. Look at that swirling. It is kind of like the galaxy, huh? Those different swirling shapes are fun to trace. And little cars and people. I wonder where those are. Oh, cool. Yeah, you can see the shape and the swirl. Right? How she just draws the lines based on what she sees and uses that for inspiration. Ooh, how would you describe the lines in this picture? Very wavy, right? Woo! Lots of zigzags that she drew. She must be brave, right? She's in that teeny little boat and wavy water. Zaha looks at waves and sees a bridge that moves with water. Oh, that's what that is. How cool. Look, this bridge moves with water. So it doesn't break when the tide is strong. Zaha looks at the Alps. Oh, the Swiss Alps are beautiful. I've never been, but I want to go. And builds a museum inside a mountain peak with windows to see the sky and the valleys. Look at her, just hanging out on that mountaintop. Looks like a great job. Wow, and the museum built into the mountainside so other people can enjoy the view too. And I love how she didn't destroy the mountain to bring this design to life so people can enjoy nature without disturbing nature much. Zaha's ski jump reaches to the sky like the mountains. Whoa, this one's gonna be really tall, huh? Oh yeah, look at the tiny little skier. So cool, it really is. It's like taller than the mountains, I think. At least in the picture it looks taller. Zaha thinks of the jungle and ancient wood temples. And builds a wooden building to remember a faraway war. I wonder what war she's remembering. Do you see how the structure is very similar? The trees are tall, and then they branch out. And then she did the same here with this wooden building. You can see the little almond shapes to show the trees branching out. What beautiful shapes. One by one, Zaha's designs become buildings all over the world. We do this so you can be in a simple place and feel good. Yeah, I feel good just looking at her designs. They inspire me and remind me that the buildings in our world, the spaces we spend our time in, can also be art. Zaha is so busy now that every room in the old school building is filled. Oh my gosh, look at all the lights on. Over 400 architects work in these rooms. That's so many. Designing, planning, engineering, and making models of Zaha's visions. Can you imagine having a team of more than 400 people working on a project that you started, helping bring an idea to life? That's amazing, and a lot of work, right? She's very determined. You should do what you like. Zaha designs a dollhouse. And shoes and chairs. So cool, right? It's easy to work a lot when you really enjoy doing what you do. You should do what you like, she says. She designs a stalactite sculpture and an iceberg seat. So now she's designing with nature, in nature. Seems like she has no limits. I can't stop thinking. Oh, I love how the artist shows that it's nighttime by drawing the stars and the dark sky, so we know that she's up late again. Seems like Saha doesn't sleep much. Sometimes when she is working, Zaha's early memories return. Oh, you can see the marshes again and I think the ruins. The beauty of the landscape where sand, water, reeds, birds, buildings, and people all somehow flow together has never left me. I still believe in the impossible. How beautiful. What a great way to show lots of ideas, like a river flowing from her mind. Then one night, The light in Zaha's window goes dark. She has left this world. Oh my gosh, look. I wasn't expecting that. But her architects keep their lights on, designing, planning, engineering, and making models of her visions, keeping her flame blazing bright. Oh, I wasn't expecting Zaha to die in this story, but it kind of seems like, even though, they say she has left this world, it seems like she hasn't, because all of these other people are inspired by her and carrying on her ideas and her dreams. Even though Zaha is gone. Well, that's sad that she's gone, but like I said, it kind of seems like she isn't because of all of her designs. So this, I think, is really cool. At the end of this story, we have a little guide to let us know what are they, where are they, so we can see all of her different designs and buildings around the world. So that one that was never built was supposed to be an opera house, the Cardiff Bay Opera House in Wales. Those towers that were designed to look like grass are in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. And I flew into their airport once, and I don't know if I saw those buildings, but there's some pretty cool buildings in Dubai, and I was so inspired. Zaha headquarters also in United Arab Emirates. They have really cool architecture in that country. I would love to go tour their architecture sometime. And the stadium in Qatar. So she has buildings all over the world. The opera house that's like a stone is in China. And there's the inside again. Oh, and the Galaxy Soho, that's in Beijing, China. And that bridge, again, in United Arab Emirates. A lot of her designs have impacted the Dubai and the United Arab Emirates. Oh, and that museum is in Italy. Her ski jump in Austria. And then, the one that's inspired by the woods is in Cambodia. So she has inspired people and created things all over the world that still exist today and are still being created today. Some of her designs are still being built. So here's a little bit more about Zaha. Zaha was daring. The world is not a rectangle. You don't go into a park and say, "My God, we don't have any corners." Zaha was original. My work is not within the accepted box, maybe because I am a woman, also an Arab. Zaha spoke her mind. As a woman, I'm expected to want everything to be nice and to be nice myself. I don't design nice buildings. I don't like them. Well, I think her buildings are nice, but I think she means like when she says nice buildings, like ones that don't challenge people. She likes buildings that challenge people. Zaha Mohamed Hadid was born in Baghdad, Iraq on October 31st, 1950, and she died in Miami, Florida on March 31st, 2016. She was 65 years old. Hey, that's Chavez Day. March 31st. Zaha had degrees in mathematics and architecture. She lived in London and was made a Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 2012. Among the many awards and honors Zaha received in her lifetime were the Pritzker Prize, the most prestigious architecture award in the world, and the Royal Institute of British Architects Royal Gold Medal, the top architecture award in Britain. She was the first woman ever to receive these awards. Wow, so she really did set an example for a lot of women. And the author's note. So from Jeanette Winter, when I first saw photos of Zaha Hadid's architectural designs in 2010, the buildings seemed to fly. My spirit also took flight to a place in my imagination that only landscape had taken me before. I had to find out more about her. And we know that this is a true story because it has sources, right? All this information that helped Jeanette Winter write the story. And if you're interested in Jeanette Winter, there's some more info here. She's a renowned picture book creator whose acclaimed work included The Secret Project, written by Jonah Winter, and her own Nanak the Ice Bear, Malala, a brave girl from Pakistan, Iqbal, a brave boy from Pakistan, Two Stories of Bravery, Henry Scissors, Biblioburo, a true story from Colombia, The Librarian of Basra, a true story from Iraq, and Nasreen's Secret School, a true story from Afghanistan. She and her husband, artist Roger Winter, live in New York City. So she's written a lot of books based on true stories. So I would check them out if you're looking to learn more about some powerful role models. So that is The World is Not a Rectangle. Now before you go, I want to ask you to try something. Okay? I think Zaha is so inspiring and I want you to try a project. Find an object. It could be from nature or it could be something that you have at home. Maybe even a spoon or a fork. I don't know, any object. And I want you to look at the shape. I want you to look at the lines and the colors. And I want you to draw something inspired by that shape. Maybe you design your own building or design something else. But I want you to find something interesting that inspires you to design something new for the world. I hope you enjoyed The World is Not a Rectangle, and hope that you'll use this story to inspire you to follow your own ideas and dreams. Thank you.